Artificial intelligence may be one of the biggest investment stories of 2026. Everywhere investors look, they see AI. AI chips, AI software, AI data centers, AI cloud infrastructure, AI automation, AI productivity. And because a theme is so big, AI ETFs have become a very popular way to invest in the trend without picking one single stock. But here's the problem. A powerful trend is not always a good investment at any price. AI can be real and still be overhyped. AI can change the world and still disappoint investors who pay too much. And an AI ETF can sound diversified while still being concentrated in the same expensive tech names many investors already own. So in this video, we are going to break down AI ETFs in 2026, what they are, why they became popular, the main types of AI ETFs, examples like AIQ, BOTZ, ARTY, and BAI, the biggest risks, and when an AI ETF may actually make sense in a portfolio, because AI can be real and still be overpriced.
An AI ETF is a thematic exchange-traded fund built around companies connected to artificial intelligence. But that definition is broader than it sounds. One AI ETF might focus on software, another might focus on chips, another might focus on robotics, another might focus on cloud infrastructure, data centers, automation, or AI services. That means two funds can both call themselves AI ETFs, but own very different portfolios. Some may hold large technology companies, some may hold semiconductor names, some may include robotics and industrial automation, some may invest globally, and some may use active management instead of tracking a rules-based index. Examples include AIQ, BOTZ, ARTY, and BAI. But the ticker alone is not enough. Investors need to understand what the ETF actually owns and how it defines AI exposure. An AI ETF is not one investment. It is a basket built around one theme. And that theme became extremely popular because investors wanted a simple way to participate in a very complicated technology trend.
AI ETFs became popular because they make a complicated trend feel simple. Instead of choosing one AI stock, investors can buy one ETF and get exposure to the theme. That is the appeal. Generative AI is growing. Enterprise software companies are adding AI tools. Cloud providers are building more infrastructure. Semiconductor companies are powering the computing demand. Automation and robotics may benefit as companies try to improve productivity, and data centers are becoming critical infrastructure for AI workloads. For many investors, that creates a strong story. But the story is only one side of the investment. The other side is price, concentration, fees, and risk. It is very easy to buy a theme after it becomes popular. It is much harder to know whether the future growth is already priced in. AI ETFs became popular because they turn a complicated technology trend into one ticker. But not all AI ETFs give the same exposure. So the next step is understanding the main types. There are several types of AI ETFs. The first type is broad AI and technology ETFs. These try to capture a wider range of companies connected to artificial intelligence and technology. The second type is robotics and automation ETFs. These are more focused on machines, industrial automation, robotics, autonomous systems, and AI applications in the physical world. The third type is semiconductor-heavy AI ETFs. These funds may benefit from AI compute demand, but they can also become heavily tied to the chip cycle. The fourth type is active AI ETFs. These do not simply follow a passive index. A manager makes decisions about what belongs in the portfolio. The fifth type focuses more on software, cloud, infrastructure, and AI services. The important point is that the label AI ETF does not tell the full story. One fund may be a broad tech fund, another may be a robotics fund, another may be almost a semiconductor bet. Two AI ETFs can have the same theme and completely different portfolios. So let's look at a few examples, starting with AIQ. The first example is AIQ. AIQ is the Global X Artificial Intelligence and Technology ETF. It is designed to give exposure to companies that may benefit from the development and use of artificial intelligence. Its expense ratio is 0.68%. That is much higher than a core ETF like VTI or VOO. The appeal of AIQ is that it gives broad exposure to the AI and tech theme in one fund. For an investor who wants a simple AI-focused ticker, that can be useful. But broad does not mean cheap, and broad does not mean risk-free. Investors need to check the holdings. They need to understand how much of the fund overlaps with big tech names they may already own. And they need to ask whether the fee is justified compared with cheaper broad market or tech ETFs. AIQ can give broad AI exposure, but broad does not mean cheap or risk-free. Now let's move to a fund that is more tied to robotics and automation, BOTZ. The second example is BOTZ. BOTZ is the Global X Robotics and Artificial Intelligence ETF. It also has an expense ratio of 0.68%, but the exposure is different from a broad AI technology fund. BOTZ is more connected to robotics, automation, industrial robotics, autonomous systems, and artificial intelligence. That means investors are not just buying an AI story, they are also buying a robotics and automation story. That can be attractive if you believe AI will move beyond software and into factories, machines, logistics, and physical automation. But it also creates different risks. Robotics can be more specific, industrial cycles can matter, capital spending can matter, global manufacturing trends can matter, and the portfolio may behave differently from a broader AI or tech ETF. So BOTZ may be interesting, but investors should understand the bet. BOTZ is not just an AI ETF, it is also a robotics and automation bet. Now let's compare two other examples from iShares, ARTY and BAI. Another pair of examples is ARTY and BAI. ARTY is the iShares Future AI and Tech ETF. Its expense ratio is 0.47%. The fund seeks exposure to companies connected to AI technologies across areas like software, infrastructure, and services. BAI is the iShares AI Innovation and Tech Active ETF. It has active management, which means the portfolio is not just following a traditional passive index. The idea is that active management may better identify companies across the AI tech stack. That sounds appealing, but active exposure still has to prove itself. A higher fee can be worth it only if the manager adds enough value over time, and active management can still be wrong. It can choose the wrong companies, it can buy too late, it can sell too early, or it can simply fail to outperform cheaper alternatives. Active AI exposure may sound smarter, but it still has to justify the fee. And that brings us to the biggest AI ETF risk for many investors: overlap. The biggest AI ETF risk may be overlap. Many investors already own AI exposure without realizing it. If you own VOO, you likely already own large technology companies. If you own BTI, you likely own the broad US market, including major AI-related companies. If you own QQQ, you may already have heavy exposure to large growth and technology names. And if you own XLK, SOXX, or other tech and semiconductor ETFs, the overlap can become even stronger. Then, the investor adds an AI ETF and thinks they diversified. But sometimes they simply double down on the same theme. More tickers do not always mean more diversification. Sometimes more tickers just means more concentration hidden behind the more complicated portfolio. That is why investors need to check the top holdings and compare them with what they already own. The biggest AI ETF risk may be thinking you diversified when you actually double down. And overlap is not the only risk. The next one is valuation. The second major risk is valuation. AI companies may grow quickly, but if the market already expects massive growth, the stock price can become very demanding. This is where investing gets tricky. The AI story can be right, and the investment return can still be disappointing. Why? Because price matters. If investors pay too much for future growth, the company may perform well and the stock may still underperform. That can happen when expectations are too high, when valuations are stretched, or when multiple compression hits a popular theme. An AI ETF does not remove valuation risk, it simply spreads it across a basket of companies. That can reduce single stock risk, but it does not eliminate the risk of buying an expensive theme. Investors should ask whether the ETF is priced for reasonable growth or priced for perfection. The AI story can be right, and the stock price can still be too high. And when valuations are high, fees matter even more. The third major risk is fees and turnover. Core ETFs like VTI and VOO charge around 0.03%. That is extremely low. But many AI ETFs charge much more. ARTY has an expense ratio of 0.47%. BAI has a net expense ratio of 0.55%. AIQ has an expense ratio of 0.68%, and BOTZ also has an expense ratio of 0.68%. That does not automatically make them bad. A higher fee can be acceptable if the fund delivers strong results after costs. But the hurdle is higher. The ETF has to justify the extra cost. Investors also need to understand turnover and methodology. How does the fund choose companies? How often does it rebalance? Is it actually selecting AI winners, or is it just using AI language to sell a theme? The more an ETF charges, the more it has to prove. And before we move into when AI ETFs may actually make sense, this is a good point for a quick pause. This is the kind of ETF analysis we focus on at Boring Money Wins. Not just chasing the hottest theme, not just buying whatever has AI in the name, not ignoring fees, overlap, valuation, and portfolio construction. The goal is to separate real trends from expensive stories. AI may be a real long-term force, but investors still need discipline. So if you like no-hype ETF analysis that looks beyond the marketing, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow, and it tells YouTube to show more practical investing content to people who want long-term strategy without the noise. Now, let's build a practical framework. When can an AI ETF actually make sense in a portfolio? AI ETFs may make sense as satellite positions. That means they are not the core of the portfolio. They are an extra piece around a diversified foundation. For example, an investor may already own broad exposure through funds like VTI, VOO, VXUS, or bonds. Then they may choose to add a smaller AI ETF position because they want extra exposure to the AI theme. That can be reasonable if the investor understands the risks. They should understand volatility. They should limit the position size. They should accept that the ETF can underperform for years. They should know the top holdings, and they should be comfortable with the fact that thematic investing can be emotionally difficult. AI ETFs should not replace the core portfolio for most investors. They should not replace broad U.S. market exposure. They should not replace international diversification, and they should not replace bonds if the investor needs stability. AI ETFs may work best as satellites, not as the core of the portfolio. But there are also times when investors should avoid or reduce exposure. An investor may want to avoid or reduce AI ETF exposure if they are already heavily exposed to big tech. This is especially true if they already own QQQ, SOXX, XLK, or a portfolio dominated by mega-cap technology stocks. Adding an AI ETF on top may simply increase concentration. Another reason to be careful is volatility tolerance. If a 30% or 40% decline would make you panic sell, a thematic AI ETF may be too aggressive. Investors should also be careful if they are buying only because of FOMO. Fear of missing out is not a strategy. It usually leads people to buy popular themes after the easy money has already been made. And if you do not understand the holdings, the methodology, or the fund's role in your portfolio, that is another warning sign. AI ETFs may also not fit investors who are looking mainly for income and dividends. If you are buying because you are afraid of missing out, you may already be late. So before buying, investors need a checklist. Before buying an AI ETF, ask a few simple questions. What is the fee? What are the top holdings? Is the ETF broad or concentrated? How much does it overlap with the portfolio I already own? Is it index-based or active? Does the methodology actually make sense? How large should the position be? And can I handle a 30 to 50% drop without abandoning the strategy? That last question matters. Thematic ETFs can be very volatile. They often look most attractive after the theme has already become popular, and they can test investor patience when the market moves on to the next story. The most important question is this: am I buying real innovation exposure? Am I buying concentration? Or am I just buying marketing? Before buying an AI ETF, know whether you are buying innovation, concentration, or marketing. Now let's bring everything together into the final verdict. So, are AI ETFs still worth it in 2026, or are they overhyped? The honest answer is both, depending on how they are used. AI is real. The technology trend is real. Chips, software, cloud infrastructure, data centers, automation, and AI services may continue to shape the economy for years to come. AI ETFs can be useful for investors who want simple thematic exposure, but they also come with higher fees, overlap risk, valuation risk, concentration risk, and FOMO risk. That means they should not replace the core of most portfolios. For many investors, an AI ETF makes more sense as a small satellite position around the diversified core. It may be worth it for investors who understand the risk and size the position correctly. It may be overhyped for investors who buy only because everyone is talking about AI. AI may change the world, but your portfolio still needs discipline. And boring money usually wins because boring money usually survives.